Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Test, testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing. Alright, let me just get some water. And we'll start off with, oh my god, this is so long. The citation. So, in case there's any problems. Oh, so I can only go from 200 to 250. Sorry, guys. Yeah, this is the citation. And, oh gosh, it keeps going. This is the image. Okay, so we're going to start with SCP-031. Item number SCP-031. Object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. SCP-031 is currently contained in the Ryojong Hotel located in the city of Pyongyang, Democratic People's Republic of Korea. As the nation is located in, it is currently governed by an authoritarian regime with near complete control of state and nationwide media. The possibility of information regarding SCP-031 being released to the world at large is minimal, as said regime is also cooperating with the Foundation in order to maintain physical security of the site. Foundation personnel are instructed to comply with their directives so long as they do not interfere with larger Foundation aims. Oh, good, politics. That's always helpful to protect the world. The structure of the Ryojong Hotel serves to contain SCP-031 within the central spire. 3 secondary spires located at 120-degree intervals from the central pyramid house Type 9 Heaven's Blade restriction systems, calibrated to focus as a disruptive energy field towards the central spire. Although unable to prevent physical escape of SCP-031, the system serves to prevent SCP-031's psychic energies from escaping the structure and affecting off-site personnel. Hold on, let me make sure, because I don't have chat on this thing. So let me make sure my phone is, so I can see myself. All 0 of you guys. Alright. Reclamation efforts of the hotel are currently underway, with local government forces utilizing hazmat-suited personnel armed with flame projectors and chemical sprayers to decontaminate areas affected by SCP-031. However, due to the slow pace of progress of SCP-031's defensive capabilities, reclamation efforts are drastically behind schedule. However, due to the slow pace of progress in SCP... Oh, okay. Never mind. I misunderstood. Personnel who become affected by SCP-031's psychic abilities are to be terminated immediately to prevent their biomatter from becoming incorporated into its physical matrix. Oh, so it's like Slither from the movie Slither. No, wait, it's like Slugs from the movie Slither. Or the Brethren Moon from Dead Space. Description: SCP-013 is an amorphous organism with a mass of over 7,500 kilograms that has infiltrated the ductwork and maintenance infrastructure of the building. Tendrils emerging from SCP-031's central mass have spread through the hotel's plumbing and ductwork to all 105 floors of the building. At its peak, over 75% of the hotel's 3,000 rooms were contaminated by SCP-031. Reclamation efforts have destroyed blank percent of the initial infestation, but over blank rooms remain affected by SCP-031. SCP-031 tendrils terminate in pod-like structure, sporocarp, consisting of an ovid structure approximately 2 meters in length, with multiple cilia-like structures branching off the main body. On some occasions, subjects in the presence of SCP-031 sporocarp will instead perceive it as an individual the subject has had a close emotional connection to in their past. SCP-031 sporocarp will metamorphose into the shape of the person perceived and attempt to persuade the subject to remain with them for an extended period of time. This is the Dead Space Brethren moon. SCP-031 sporocarp will next attempt to make physical contact with the targeted individual with their cilia-like structures. Digestive juices will be injected into the subject's body and their flesh will be consumed and incorporated into SCP-031's body mass. In the meantime, a secondary flagellum will engulf the subject's cranium and brain, replacing the blood vessels with its own tendrils, which will maintain life support of the affected brain by some yet undiscovered means. The tendrils will decerebrate the subject and transport the subject's cranium back into the individual. I'm having trouble speaking. The tendrils will decerebrate the subject and transport the subject's cranium back through the building's ductwork, where it is incorporated into the central mass. Footage taken through the surveillance drone indicate that there are currently blank crania in the network of tendrils attached to SCP-031 central mass. By all indications, the brain contained within are still alive and may be conscious. Being conscious in that state is probably the worst part. No, it's the worst part. That'd be a lot worse than dying. History. SCP-031 was recovered on 10/22/1948, following contradictory police reports taken after a riot in the city of Redacted. Several civilians had gathered around a refugee camp, professing love and devotion to a cult-like leader who they referred to as the Beloved. Once initial contact and assessment was made, the civilians were pacified through widespread distribution of inhaled tranquilizers and aerosolized amnestics. MTF Psi-7 was able to recover SCP-031 central mass and move it into containment. In its initial form, SCP-031 consisted of a single amorphous entity approximately 75 kilograms in weight, of vaguely humanoid shape. It had not yet manifested the ability to consume and incorporate human biomatter into itself, or any mind-affecting properties aside from inspiring unusual feelings of love and devotion. As of 11/16/1948, SCP-031 has been classified as safe and was in containment at Site Blank. Unfortunately, the Korean conflict, which began on 6/25/1950, resulted in the destruction of the Foundation containment site at Pyongyang and the loss of all anomalies contained within. By the end of the conflict, 1953, all other anomalies were accounted for, either recovered or confirmed destroyed, aside from SCP-031, which was presumed lost and in the wild. I mean, if you don't have a creature or physical object, then isn't it automatically presumed, because you don't know, that it is lost and in the wild? This seems like a weird sentence to need to speak. Oh, I'm halfway down my water. Foundation assets first became aware of the reemergence of SCP-031 in 1992 when construction on the Ryugyong Hotel in Pyongyang suddenly halted. Personnel liaising with the local regime confirmed that an anomalous effect had resulted in the disappearance of numerous workers employed in the construction of the hotel, and a Foundation mobile task force was dispatched to investigate. All members of the MTF were subsequently lost in action, and the site was locked down and declared off limits. All work on the Ryugyong Hotel ceased for 16 years, aside from the installation of the Heaven's Blades restriction systems on the secondary spires. Let me just adjust some things here because I'm not really comfortable. Oh, there we go. That feels a lot better. Can you hear me now? How about now? Okay. In 2008, increased infiltration of SCP-031 into the building's infrastructure resulted in the possibility of its discovery by outside persons. The local regime immediately ordered that windows be installed on the structure to hide the existence of SCP-031 from others, resulting in the loss of more construction workers. Unfortunately, this was perceived as a resumption of construction on the building, resulting in expectations that the structure would actually be completed and open to the future public. And opened to the public in the future. Reclamation efforts commenced within the year, utilizing flame and solvent projecting equipment to destroy SCP-031 tendrils and sporocarps, with each team accompanied by a political officer assigned to terminate any personnel who become assimilated into SCP-031. As of the current date, reclamation efforts are still underway. Foundation personnel are continuing to liaise with the local regime and monitor their progress, which is slow but steady. I mean, as long as it's slow but steady, this is one of the few things at times that the SCP's like, you know what, let's just destroy it. I don't know if it's because it's dangerous or if it's because it's kind of in a weird political area and they're like, let's just get rid of this and nick this in the butt right now. Appendix 1. Excerpts from RAISA email server. From RAISA Associate Director Eleanor Jones. 2 Records Office 2201. For some reason, that felt like a year to me, and then I realized we're in 2025, not 2200, and yeah, that's way in the future, which I don't plan to stay around for that long. I mean, I would like to. Anyways, subject: incomplete special containment procedures file for SCP-031. Team, I have an issue that needs immediate clarification. I have the Ryong Hotel as the location of a mind-affecting stele from Proto-Afro-Asiatic cultural group. As you can see, that's the same location as this brain-stealing flesh network. Are these two subjects related at all? Is this hotel some kind of DPRK containment facility? If so, we should put that into the Object Special Containment Procedures file. Please reply at your earliest convenience. What's a DPRK containment facility? From Records Office 2022. It's weird. I'm trying to do vocal exercises and I can't do on a whim. Like when I decide to, but right now, well, this was on a whim. It just came out naturally. From Records Office 2201 to RAISA Associate Director Eleanor Jones. Reply: incomplete special containment procedures file for SCP-031. Eleanor, as far as my team can figure, there doesn't appear to be a link between the two objects. In fact, I'm getting conflicting reports from containment teams regarding whether or not either of these objects actually exist. The 1427 team is insisting the hotel is the site for Steel and there's no brain-eating flesh network there. And the DPRK government is part of the containment procedures. Then I have the team for SCP-031 insisting that the DPRK government's involvement is purely politically motivated, i.e., we don't want to get involved so long as they're taking care of it, and there's no such thing as a mind-affecting steel located within the building, which is concerning given that we've got two mind-affecting anomalies within the same space and two teams with two separate stories here. Possible Eastern Samoth race situation? Samoth? Like, the Lovecraftian creature? I can't remember its name for the life of me. I'll look it up later. From RAISA Associate Director Eleanor Jones to Records Office 2201. Reply: SCP-031 and SCP-1427 records conflict. Was incomplete special containment procedures file for SCP-031. Okay, someone needs to get to the bottom of this. We can't have a useful database with such blatantly contradictory information. Make it your first priority to resolve this. From Records Office 2201 to RAISA Associate Director Eleanor Jones. Reply: SCP-031 and SCP-1427 records conflict. Was incomplete special containment procedures file for SCP-031. Eleanor, will do. Entered into the tracker as 000-0031-F99ZX with a sister ticket entered as 001-1427-F99ZX. When? From RISA Associate Director Eleanor Jones to Records Office 2201. Reply: SCP-031 and SCP-1427 records conflict. Was incomplete special containment procedures file for SCP-031. Team, can I get an update on this issue? How long does this go on? Okay, not that much longer. I mean, kind of longer, but... From Record Office 2201 to RAISA Associate Director Eleanor Jones. Reply: SCP-031 and SCP-1427 records conflict. I don't think I have to say this part every time. Eleanor, my apologies. I guess I wasn't clear that further updates would be sent out through the tracker system. We're gathering information and assessing the situation. We will keep you informed. Gwen. From RAISA Associate Director Eleanor Jones to Records Office 2201. Reply: SCP-031 and SCP-1427 records conflict. Was incomplete special containment procedure file for SCP-031. I guess I do have to say it. Team, it's been 3 days. Can I please get the requested update or at least a deadline by which we'll have this issue resolved? From Records Office 2201 to RAISA Associate Director Eleanor Jones. Reply: SCP-031 and SCP-1427 records conflict. Was incomplete special containment procedures file for SCP-031. Eleanor, as I stated in Tracker Update 22 on this ticket, we found that the problem is more complicated than we expected, requiring us to physically send a person from HQ over to Pyongyang to investigate. It's taken us some time to get through that North Korean red tape. totalitarian governments. Am I right? And to get the paperwork done to reassign Jenny's responsibility while she's gone. When? From RAISA Associate Director Eleanor Jones to Record Office 2201. Reply. What's the holdup? Was SCP-031 and SCP-1427 record conflict? Was incomplete special containment procedure files for SCP-031? Team, it's been 2 weeks. Why has there been no update on this issue? This is a highly time-sensitive issue, and your lack of progress is extremely disappointing. We need to get this resolved before Maria has to step in. Okay, well this one's going to be a bit longer and more substantial. From Record Office 2201 to RAISA Associate Director Eleanor Jones. Reply, what's the holdup? Was SCP-031 and SCP-1427 records conflict? Was incomplete special containment procedures file for SCP-031? Eleanor, I can assure you that, per your instructions, resolving this issue has been our top priority. We've been cross-referencing between the documentation, and the only discrepancy appears to be the fact that there are discrepancies. As in, all the documentation for one project is internally consistent, and all the documentation for the second project is internally consistent. It is only when you put them together that things don't make sense. We tried talking to the project leads on both teams, but neither of them seems to know the other exists. We tried having them look up the other team's SCP file in the system. They can't read it just fine, but it doesn't make sense to them. SCP-031 team has no record of 1427 on site, and vice versa. We thought there might be some kind of time-space parallel dimension thing going on, so we had each member... I gotta start reading these and then speaking instead of speaking and reading at the same time, because that doesn't work sometimes. The question is, how long am I going to forget that I made this decision to, read and then speak? We thought there might be some kind of time-space parallel dimension thing going on. So we had a member of each team try to meet up at the same place at the Ryong Hotel outside the front entrance. They were not able to find each other despite confirming that they were both in the same place at the same time. Photographs with timestamps attached. We then had two team members try to meet up at a location outside the hotel. They were able to meet up just fine. When they tried to return to the hotel together, they lost track of each other and ended up not being able to find each other. We tried sending Jenny over to Pyongyang to investigate. That was a pain in the ass given via restrictions into North Korea. They were able to meet with both team leads simultaneously, but they were able to meet with each team one-on-one. Both teams gave them a tour of their containment facility, and everything seemed to be in order. 31 teams showed them the reclaimed rooms and cleanup teams, while 1427 team showed them the location of the steel. Neither team was able to allow direct contact with the anomaly because of the containment procedures, but they were able to confirm its existence through remote cameras. The DPRK team for 31 had no idea about the existence of any DPRK assets being used to contain 1427 and vice versa. This might not be too surprising given information controls in that country. So basically, psychic field is that these two entities are projecting doesn't let one group learn about the other for some reason. To make things even worse, Jenny got a call from Eun-mi at the KR branch asking what the hell a RASI staff member was doing in the city. She contacted them, and as far as KR is concerned, We do not and have not had any assets in the Ryongjong Hotel. Jenny went so far as to ask Unmi to take her to the hotel and show her around a bit. And when she got there, she couldn't find any trace of SCP-031, 1427, or the teams involved with either. So in conclusion, after 3 weeks of hard work, we can conclude from the evidence one of the following must be true. 1. SCP-31 exists and SCP-1427 does not. 2. SCP-1427 exists and SCP-031 does not. 3. Both SCP-1427 and SCP-031 exist, and there is an anomaly at the Ryongyong Hotel preventing either team from knowing about the other or proving the other exists. 4. Neither SCP-031 or SCP-1427 exist, and there is an anomaly at the Ryongyong Hotel creating the impression that it exists in the RAISA Central Staff, but the KR branch staff are not affected. 5. One or both of SCP-031 and SCP-1427 may or may not exist, and the KR branch are under a mind-affecting compulsion that they do not know, or were under a compulsion that it does. 6. All or none of the above may be true simultaneously due to multi-world theory, parallel universes, or timey-wimey fuckery shit. And if you have any idea on what we can fucking do to fucking fix that shit, I've got Gwen. I mean, Gwen sounds angry and I don't blame her. From RAISA Associate Director Eleanor Jones to Records Office 2201, subject new directives. Hello, team. 1. Effective immediately, Guinevere Kirkpatrick has been relieved of her duties as the project lead at Records Office 2201. 2. All Record Office 2201 staff are to make the resolution of ticket 000-0031-F99ZX and 001-1427-499ZX their top priority. No other work on any other project is continued until the issue is resolved. I want hourly reports until this matter is concluded. I don't know what they expected Gwen to do. I mean, what else could she have done? There's some mystic shit going on. From Director Maria Jones, Record Keeping Information Security Administration, to all RAISA Associate Directors, subject blank dash blank dash blank. A fond farewell and other updates. Good afternoon, RAISA staff. Thank you again for all your hard work. Today's email will be a short one. I mean, this is technically longer than any email I've ever gotten, which may or may not be a good thing. On the one hand, I've always wanted a pen pal, but on the other hand, this is a work email, so. 1. The 3.14 update of Scuttle has been updated to snapshot 2207-D. Please remind your team leads to log into the test instance and confirm proper functionality. Send any bug reports to the Scuttle team as soon as possible. We know that this involves taking time out of your day for additional tasks, but the sooner we complete this wide-scale stress test, the sooner we can roll out the new version and put some fears to rest. 2. I am saddened to announce that Eleanor has chosen to retire to do... Shit. 2. I am saddened to announce that Eleanor has been chosen... Why do I keep adding bin? There's no bin to this. 2. I am saddened to announce that Eleanor has chosen to retire due to health concerns. This announcement came as a surprise to me as well. Due to the sudden nature of her health crisis, she was unable to say goodbye to us before being transferred to blank hospital, where I understand she is convalescing nicely. Please expect a follow-up email with a link to the crowdfunding page for a going-away gift for her, as well as an address where you can send gift cards and other well wishes. Until we can appoint a new AD to take over her projects, we will temporarily be splitting her teams up between several different existing ADs. Expect an announcement of a new table of organization by noon GMT. 3. Please take a moment during your next weekly team meeting to go over Section 22-B, reporting inconsistencies in documentation of your handbook with your staff, and make sure that everyone knows that proper procedures to follow if and when you end up with an information anomaly. North Korea, a logically manufactured version of Wright psionic field disruptor. Initial estimates were that SCP-031's central core would be reclaimed by 1989, but as of 2021, efforts are still ongoing, and 4 is 2/27/21. What's 4? As of, okay, so that's when this one came out. It's a fairly recent SCP. For 31, that is recent. Okay, let's go to 32. And this is the citation. SCP-032. Item number SCP-032. Object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. SCP-032 is to be housed in an Automated Containment Unit 535-15. Direct contact with SCP-32 is to be restricted to research-relevant tasks only. Interviews, if deemed necessary, are to be carried out using the unit's remote communication array. While SCP-032's presence is not directly harmful to the human body, exposure to it is to be limited to periods of 12 hours or less due to its adverse effects on most beneficial microorganisms. SCP-032 is not to be exposed to any biological matter not refined or otherwise tempered by humanity, with an emphasis on non-human living entities. For a full list of classifications, see document -032-RLC. SCP-032 neither requires nor requested substances or other forms of comfort. SCP-032 is a Type F imperfect external resemblance, internally inconsistent human simulacron of currently unknown origins. It is composed of an outer shell of pigmented silicone, 5.5 mm thick, and various plastic fiber polymers, with an outward appearance of a Caucasian woman nearing the third decade of life. SCP-032's interior is composed entirely of liquid refined oil lacking any skeletal or muscle structure. Despite this, SCP-032 is capable of locomotion and speech. SCP-032 is capable of maintaining the illusion of humanity at a moderate distance, but becomes unconvincing at a closer range, causing mild discomfort for most observers. This effect has been deemed non-anomalous. Despite apparently possessing full realized cognitive abilities, SCP-032 claims that it is not sapient, acting only as an intermediary instruction of its creators. Acting only as an Acting only as an intermediary instrument of its creators. The Foundation has not been able to verify or refute this claim as of yet. SCP-032 possesses extreme adverse effects to any biological entity in its close vicinity, not creative. SCP-032 possesses extreme adverse effects to any biological entity in its close vicinity, not created, willfully influenced, manipulated by, or similarly related to humanity. While the exact nature of these effects varies, SCP-032's presence inevitably causes severe and irreparable damage to the ability of any living organism to exchange and or use energy. Wild fluorite loses its ability to photosynthesize or otherwise produce or consume energy. Fauna, the use of its respiratory and digestive systems, etc. This applies to microorganisms as well, though SCP-032's effects seem to favor damage to their reproductive systems instead. It is hypothesized that the symbiotic relationship some microorganisms have to humanity is the reason for this discrepancy. I swear I thought they were going to mention the mitochondria and how it's the powerhouse of the cell. SCP-032 was discovered sitting on the doorsteps of the inner compound of Foundation Site Blank, near Blank, Slovakia. When questioned by Foundation security personnel, SCP-032 explained its anomalous effects and claimed it was there to be stored. Surveillance footage showed no record of the time of its arrival, and it is not yet known how SCP-032 came to know of Site Blank's location or approach it without being spotted. When asked for its reason for seeking Foundation custody, SCP-032 replied that it was there at the command of its creators, seeking indefinite storage until claimed. So, some individuals see the SCP Foundation apparently as a storage unit. I mean, that might help the Foundation because they get to store and study stuff. Of course, it could be a problem because the same individuals who stored it decide when they want it back, they're going to get it back. Addendum. Note: this interview was recorded near the time of SCP-032's initial containment by Dr. Alexander Kovac, Site Blank's resident psychologist, following its initial examination by Site Security. Begin log. Dr. Kovac: before we begin, there's something I feel I should ask you, since security so often neglects doing so. It's not strictly conforming to protocol, but I find it tends to make things easier. SCP-032: I was instructed to cooperate. Dr. Kovac: good, very good. Tell me then, what's your name? SCP-032: I don't have one. People have names. I am not one. Dr. Kovac: is that so? What did your so-called creators call you then? SCP-032: they didn't. Dr. Kovac: surely they had to refer to you somehow. SCP-032: I am a vessel of their will and nothing else. They never needed to call. They never will. Dr. Kovac: in that case, would you mind if I refer to you as SCP-032? SCP-032: I was instructed to cooperate. Dr. Kovac. So you said. So tell. Ah, damn it. Dr. Kovac. So you said. So you said. Tell me then. What is the purpose of your coming here? SCP-032. I am to be stored here until collected. Dr. Kovac. Security told me that much, but why here? And collected by whom? SCP-032. Collected by the ones they wish to torment, and stored here because in finding me here, he will suffer further. Dr. Kovac. Is that so? Is that person you refer to part of this organization then? Do your creators bear some grudge towards a particular operative? SCP-032. He is not one of you, merely a one-time sympathizer of sorts. He believes you tried to help him once, and if he is forced here, if he finds me here, you will die. That will hurt him. They have no interest in any of you or your organization. You are here as a tool, just as am I. Just as I am. Dr. Kovac, who is this man then? What did he do to earn this sort of treatment from your creators? SCP-032. He did not know his place, won when he should have lost, was proud when he should have been humbled, was wasteful with gifts too precious for abuse. Dr. Kovac. And you are here as his punishment? SCP-032. He was already punished, severely, forced away from kin and kind to endlessly wander to destroy against his will, to poison humanity by his very presence. Internal solitude flavored by ceaseless guilt, a masterwork of torment, they say. Is this, because I know some of the SCPs, is this SCP-106? Dr. Kovac. If that's the case, why are you here? SCP-032. Because even in this existence, there is the occasional moment of solace. At times he may yet At times he may yet look to the world and see things he will not destroy. Look to nature and feel warm wonder, and bask in the false light of ancient moldy memories. It keeps him sane, gives him hope. That will not serve. Hence my presence. I am to be his last undoing, a hastening to the end of reason. Dr. Kovac. And how will your presence do that? Are you meant to deceive him in some way? Is that why you look the way you do? SCP-032. In a manner of speaking, eventually his wanderings will lead him here, to me, in a day or a month or a century, and he will recognize me and see what they think of his precious memories, how they mock them. He'll understand that because of his actions, she is forever beyond his grasp, and all that remains to him is me, a simulacron, as artificial as his hope. When he finds me, I will attach myself to him, and he will watch the mockery of his memories destroy his last source of solace, and that will be that. Dr. Kovac, you said he will recognize you. Why? SCP-032. I used to be his wife. End log. Well, whatever this SCP did, they are pissed. I wonder who it could be. I wish I knew more of them. Is it one that was before this one? Is it one that's after? Is it one of the ones? The ones? I hope it's not one of the ones. Note. This interview was held 6 months following SCP-032's initial containment, as part of a series of interviews meant to evaluate SCP-032's cognitive abilities and personality, or lack thereof. Okay, this isn't too bad. Come on, throat. Work your miracles. Begin log. SCP-032. I hate her. Dr. Kovac. Well, that's certainly a way to start an interview. Care to elaborate? SCP-032. The one I was made to look like. My mold. I hate her. Dr. Kovac. An interesting sentiment for you to have, considering your repeated assurance that you possess no consciousness or feelings of your own. SCP-032. I don't. I hate her because they want me to. It serves their purpose. Dr. Kovac. How do you get that impression? SCP-032. The first thing they did after creating me was to show her to me. It's not something they often do. Dr. Kovac. I don't follow. SCP-032. Interview with the... this is an interview, but she didn't say interview. SCP-032. Interfere with those who pass beyond their halls. They might be vengeful, spiteful, even cruel, but they take their duties very seriously. Just to show her to me, to risk disturbing her final rest, they wouldn't do that without a purpose. Dr. Kovac. And? SCP-032. She was beautiful, so peaceful, serene, whole. Even gone, even dead, I could see the essence of who she used to be, of who she still was, and forever will be. Her soul. They told me she didn't get to live for all that long, but when she lived, she was herself. She was alive, and so I hated her. SCP-032. Okay, so it is jumping directly to her. SCP-032. Do you know what it feels like to be made as a mockery? In every line of that smooth, silent face, I saw a twisted reflection of my own. Fragrant skin to molded plastic, soft hair to synthetic fiber, blood to oil, soul to nothing at all. Dr. Kovac. Excuse me if this sounds presumptuous, but I can't imagine feelings like this coming from anywhere but yourself. SCP-032 shakes head. Can't you see? This is all part of their plan. When he finds me, when he sees what brothers... when he finds me, when he sees what the brothers created just to punish him further, he'll go mad. Dr. Kovac. Because of what they did to the memory of his wife? SCP-032. Not only that, because he'll see me... He'll see how much I hate her and how much I hate myself for not being here. Hate being there at all. Dr. Kovac. And then what? SCP-032. Then a final realization. Dr. Kovac. And what will that be? SCP-032. He never won. End log. I like this one. I want to know who he is. And I want to know that he won. Even if he'll eventually lose. Okay. This might be the only one because I'm already going at towards an hour and I'm almost out of throat juice or water, as I like to call it. Throat lube. Huh. There's something I gotta look up later. SCP-033. Item number. SCP-033. Object class. Euclid. Special containment procedures. SCP-033 should be inscribed on any sheet of irregularly shaped and handcrafted paper, papyrus, canvas, or vellum when not involved in active observation or study. The dimensions of the paper-like product should have no parallel borders, no right angles, and no side lengths should be equal to any other. 003-safe dimensions. When contained in this matter, the paper-like product should be secured in a locked, non-combination storage vault at least 30 meters away from any computing or recording device. Logs for checkout or check-in of SCP-033 should be filled out at the minimum safe distance of 30 meters to avoid possible contamination of the paper product or electronic device the log is kept in. I'm out of water. When removed from study, SCP-033 can be copied to a white chalkboard with 033 safe dimensions by Class D staff. Upon transfer to the white chalkboard, the paper-like product that had contained SCP-033 should be incinerated. Observation and study should take place in a secured conference room at least 30 meters from any computing or recording device for the maximum 2,560 second viewing window. All observations or notes should be made on 033 safe materials. Under no circumstances should any notes regarding SCP-033 leave the storage facility or be input into a computer or record device. At precisely 2,000 seconds of viewing, research must stop and SCP-033 should be transferred to a new 033 safe paper-like product and returned to storage by Class D staff. The white chalkboard utilized in research must be incinerated as soon as possible after the transfer is complete, regardless of whether SCP-033 has faded naturally from its surface at 2560 seconds. Whether 033 safe procedures halt or merely slow the deleterious effects of SCP-033 is unknown. It is theorized that the irregular borders and handcrafted by mathematically unpredictable humans somehow disrupt the logic which allows SCP-033 to function. Okay. Description: SCP-033 appears as a field of complex mathematical symbols ranging from a simple layman identifiable representations to those only interpretable by highly trained mathematicians. The sum of symbols is equal to previously unknown integer, designated theta prime by Professor Hutchinson, of intermediate value between blank and blank. Oh god, it's going to be a math one. As all modern mathematical calculations are performed lacking the knowledge or use of SCP-033, its introduction to any system organized without it begins eroding the numerical and eventual structural integrity of said system. This effect extends to SCP-033's transfer to any paper-like defined as paper, vellum, papyrus, canvas, surface not possessing SCP canvas not possessing 033 safe dimensions or any computing or recording device it is input into. If inscribed on any other material, SCP-033 fades into unintelligibility in precisely 2560 seconds. In addition, SCP-033 has shown an ability to leap from an 033 safe material to a manufactured or electronic material which it can destabilize in at least one instance. Incident Report 033-D requiring the institution of a 30-meter safe distance for electronic devices and paper-like products without 033 safe dimensions. There is currently no 33 safe specification for electronic storage. Blank of the blank operational research projects involving SCP-033 are dedicated to finding such method for electronic storage. Blank operational research projects are dedicated to the application of SCP-033 as neutralizing factors for potentially hostile machine logic-based SCP objects. Clarifying commentary from Professor Hutchinson follows for non-specialist staff in document 033-A. Effects may be reviewed in document 033-Q. Oof. Document 033-A. The briefing of Professor Hutchinson after his first observation. Transcript edited for clarity. Unlike my narrating, which is not clear. I will edit it later, but it's not clear. I can admit that. Professor Hutchinson. Every school child knows that 2 plus 2 is 4. The solid mathematical certainty of numerical order and value is the basis for all logic-based systems. We know that after 2 comes 3 and after 3 comes 4. What this formula proves is that we missed a number somewhere. Imagine if all our technology was based on the belief that 4 came after 6. We simply didn't know or conceive of 5. That is, in essence, what this formula proved. We missed a number. Professor Hutchinson. I can't tell you why the handcrafted vellum works best. I can only surmise that it displaces mathematical predictability in 2 ways. 1. The irregularity of the crafting process due to human error serves to eliminate any traces of regularity that would be found in a machine-created product. 2. The irregular borders seem to confuse it somehow, as if it gets locked up looking for a pattern to identify and use as an escape hatch. I'll tell you this though, I don't think this should be left on anything longer than a few days. It will find a pattern eventually. Professor Hutchinson. I don't think it destroys anything. I think it tries integrating itself into our system, and our system can't hold it. It's like trying to cram another book into a book full of shelves. It's like trying to cram another book into a full bookshelf. If you get a hammer, you can get in there, but the whole shelf bursts eventually. If it gets out into the internet, we will potentially experience a full IT infrastructure collapse within hours. That sounds bad. This is scary math, which is, well, for me, because I didn't take any advanced math, so I'm only going by, high school geometry. This is geometry. Document 033-Q test results trial 033 Delta 5. SCP-033 inscribed into a single sheet of standard 8.5 8x5 by 11 inch manufactured white copy paper, hereafter X1, a second sheet of identical paper, hereafter X2, placed 30 centimeters away. 80 seconds. Symbols consistent with the content of SCP-033 to begin appearing on X2, X1, unchanged. 160 seconds. Full content of SCP-033's formulae appear on the surface of X2, X1 unchanged. 320 seconds. X1, X2 both appear wet. Symbols still visible. 640 seconds. X1 is now roughly 1 part apparently water and 5 parts pulp-like substance, still filled in 8.5 by 11 inch flat plane. Symbols become unintelligible. X2 still appears wet. Symbols visible. (1280 seconds). X1 no longer visible at all. Liquid part appears to have evaporated. Pulp-like substance apparently submitted. X2 now roughly 1 part liquid and 5 parts pulp-like substance. Still filling an 8.5 by 11 inch flat plane. Symbols unintelligible. 2560 seconds. X2 no longer visible at all. Liquid parts appear to have evaporated. Pulp-like substance apparently sublimated. Oh, that's pretty interesting. And this is the citation. in case I need it. Boy, there's a lot of long ones today. But I don't think with my throat I'm gonna be able to continue. So I'm going to call it here for now, and then next time I will start on this one, on SCP-34. But for now this is SCP. No, this isn't SCP. This is Sagayote signing out. You guys have a good one. Bye. Oh, thank goodness I was streaming. I looked at the OBS and I'm like, I forgot to hit stream start again. What is this thing? It's like, oh wait, close message. Never mind. It looks like obsidian and it's safe, so nothing bad can happen. Anyways, this is Sagayote signing out. You guys have a good one. Bye.